Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
You won't believe what happens this season on Medicate Me. What starts out as a simple kid getting a splinter escalates into a full-scale terrorist attack on the city. Luckily, the doctors of St. Judas General Hospital are ready.
Bob, you're drunk, and we've got to save some kids' lives.
That's because I love you, Karen.
That's original. I'm never going to win an Emmy if you don't start writing better scripts.
In the next episode, a patient wakes up and discovers he's a polygamist. Oh, and Karen, I've got some serious news. You are 8 months pregnant.
But I'm gay.
Exactly.
Medicate Me. Hospitals get real. This season, Jerry botches a home vasectomy. Carrie returns to the ER to meet the woman she killed 3 seasons ago. Jeremy comes back from Africa to discover he's wanted for murder. And lots of people die. Medicate Me. It's a relaxing home entertainment drama for the whole family. Thursday nights at 9, 8 Central on CCC.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. This is episode 468, and I, of course, am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. God, gee, it's me. It's Matt. Hooray! And with me, as always, it's the Light Bear. Bring the beast. The show's over. It's the Light Bear, the Light Bear, bring the bass. I did it again. The Beastmaster of Third Shift. It's Eric. He's here to tell us how his week was. Hey, Eric, how was your week this week?
Did you look around for them cats, Matt? Are the cats crossing twice or something? And, the Matrix is... And you're like...
Now, you say that, and while I was sitting here waiting for you, I was reading a magazine and had stuff on in the background. Out of this ear, right here, this ear cup, the loudest cat meow I've ever heard. And I looked. I was like, well, there can't be a cat in here. Maybe it's like, the neighbors came back and the kids are running. No, there's nobody over there. Looked around, looked out the front, looked out the door. This is right here. No cat. Okay. Sat back down, started reading out of this ear. Way quieter. So maybe it was like rare here, then ran all the way over there. Or it was like up on the roof and moved over. So apropos, you didn't drop a cat off when you're over by my place, did you? Because I
don't think so.
Okay. You're supposed to just bring that in. You don't have to leave it outside.
Gotcha. All right. Well, no, I don't think I did, man. I was just there to pick up some dance shoes and move on with my life. And of course, you asked how the week's been. It's been a week. It's been a week of weeks and weeks. We went to my family's this last weekend for the Labor Day holiday, and it was fun. But it, as it always does, it went by like a blink of the eye. Next thing I know, I'm back in Michigan, waiting to go to work on Tuesday. But of course, while I was there, not only did we go to Kings Island and have some fun as we always do, I played some video games, and on top of just playing some video games, Chad, the brother-in-law, he loves Path of Exile too. And, I got really big into it. I bought it at the same time he did and was like, yeah, I'll play too, but then fell off and did some other stuff. So with him playing over and over and talking to me and telling me all about it, well, guess what? I popped it back on. Never had it uninstalled anyway, so I popped it on, update's done, and I got into some Path of Exile too. So I've been playing that. I started over because it's a brand new season, so you gotta, redo the ladder or whatever. And I'm like a level 14 sorceress now, going down the Frost lands like you always do with the Frost sorceress. Having a good time with it. And it sucks. You know what sucks, man? It really sucks, but it doesn't suck because I'm having fun and I enjoy it. Problem is, Cronos comes out later tonight / tomorrow, whatever you want to, call it. You know damn well I'm playing that. So another game, just as I'm like, yeah, I remember this game's fun, and I bought it already, and look at that, I own it. And same with another game I'm playing, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this game's going to take precedence over that game. So I'm like, oh, man, shucks, that's a bummer. So I'm in that boat where I'm playing a game I like, but there's another game that's probably going to take over from there. And that's not the only one, Matt, because I also played Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Oh, man, I'm back in love with it. No, I love it. I'm just running around. Like you always say, just run around town. Run around Hawaii. Just collecting all the little shiny lights, the little stupid briefcases, and looking for the silver briefcase, silver treasure chests, and taking on quests, doing whatever. And I'm in it. I'm like, yep, this is the comfortable world I've come to love now. And just enjoying it, having a good time. I'm like, I could totally play this and finish this. I need to anyway. It's a game I bought and a game I really like. But Cronos is out. And damn well Cronos is going to take over from there.
So you know what you have to do right now, Eric. You have to mentally do it because I know you didn't write it down. You got to go to New Year's resolution list.
I know.
You got to scratch. You got to put a little X, and you got to put a F for fail. Fail.
No, because at the end of the year, if at the end of the year I've gotten close enough, it'll be a success.
C minus. C minus.
Yeah, C minus. And I'll take a C minus over a damn E. God damn it. So I won't say I failed yet, but we'll see. I could fall apart because guess what? Silent Hill F comes out later this month. Borderlands 4 comes out in a couple weeks. So this is where everything's about to collapse and probably go to hell. But maybe we can salvage it. I don't know. Anyways, that's another game I was playing. The Like a Dragon, like I said, it's just like it's an old glove. You put it on. They present you with all sorts of fun, zany adventures and side quests. You know the rigmarole. Matt's talked about it for years and years, and I've recently got on board with it. What can you say? Just really fun. I enjoy it. And I wish I could switch between the fighting styles because, of course, in Hawaii, they got you going with the slasher. And then when you're on ship, you're using the cutthroat or whatever it's called. And I much prefer the streets. I like his slasher stuff, his knife and doing his thing. I like that fighting style a lot more, and I like the swashbuckler. So I wish I could just permanently be that. Maybe that's an option later. Probably is. But for right now, it keeps switching me, so I'm like, whatever.
See, I thought you meant, I wish I could switch the other way and be the pirate in the streets. And I was going to be like, dude, you totally can. But then you went, no, it's the other way. And I went, I don't know if you can or not, but I have a feeling not, but I 100% agree with you. Playing the Mad Dog style is so much more fun. Like, yes. I feel it, spoiler alert for when I talk about it, I got to Hawaii, so I'm finally that again. And it just feels like home. The other one feels fun, but it's weird. And that just feels like I'm in it. I'm back on the streets again.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat you are. Of course, I'm much newer to the series, but back in Hawaii again, and I'm just doing the Mad Dog style and just roaming the streets. I'm like, this is what I want. This is where we're at. I do love the ship battles and stuff, just the pirateering. It like aggressively brings me back to Skies of Arcadia when you're over there in the ship battles, and I like that and I enjoy that part of it. But like we're just discussing, I don't like the swashbuckling fighting style. It's not my jam. Not really a big fan of it. It makes me have to really pay attention and kind of sometimes even not struggle bus, but just pay more attention. And otherwise, I'm using a whole bunch of pots all the time, and that just annoys me. Like it does in every game I play. I hate having to use any of my potions and healing items and stuff. But overall, really cool. Glad I was able to get back into it as much as I did. Once again, Cronos comes out. We'll see if I can balance all of them at the same time. Luckily, from what I hear, Cronos is like a 15 to 20 hour game. So it's not like, hey, here's 110 hours. We'll see you in December. Thankfully, it's not that. So hopefully I can bust it out and keep on trucking with everything else. And last but not least, Matt, I played Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Demo was only out for a very brief time over the weekend. I totally forgot about it until the 9th hour, which was like Monday when I got home. So downloaded it. And then I was like, oh yeah, Joker's supposed to be like the special for today only or whatever. It wasn't available. I was like, what the hell? So I went ahead and just played as Sonic, did a world. And then all of a sudden, boop, you've unlocked a new character. It's Joker. Have fun. And of course, as soon as you pull Joker up, I was like, yep, there it is. So I got on Joker, got his vehicle all pumped up, and went ahead and played some more. And I enjoyed it. It was fun. Is it like Mario Kart fun? No, it doesn't have the same quality that Mario Kart has. But I had a good time with it nonetheless. But I will say overall, and I love, like we talked about, I love the fact that the first player gets to choose, like going to the different worlds. It was awesome when I'm in first place and I'm like, do I go to the one I know or do I choose the mystery one and see what happens? Crap. Who's riding my butt right now? Is it going to be worth it or not? There's like a little strategy and fun to it, especially if I bet you were playing with like friends and you knew Matt sucked at the flying stuff. And then you're like, okay, yep, we're going flying. Screw you, Matt. And, that kind of thing would be really cool. The abilities, the little weapons you get, I still don't understand all of them. They're really weird. And I'm sure they make sense to, like, maybe longtime Sonic fans or longtime, I don't know what kind of fans. But all the different stuff you can get, I don't know what any of it means. Just through trial and error and using it, I'm starting to pick it up. So that was kind of crappy just in me not knowing. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm getting. I guess I'll just use it. And it's like, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I'm like, I don't really know what's happening right now or what you're doing to help me. but I can't really focus on you because I'm in the middle of a race and I got to try to, retain my position. But that would come with just playing. You'd start to figure out what everything did and everything. So I don't know. The demo was fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. But I feel like at this moment, I'll probably wait a little bit because, of course, I got so many other games to play anyway. And I also, if they add more Persona characters, it'll probably be a for sure. But if it's only Joker, I could probably just walk away from this one at the end of the day. Even though it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a good time and I enjoyed it. But I have a lot of games to play, man.
Isn't Ichiban in it, though? Isn't Ichiban in it?
Yes, Ichiban's in it too, but he wasn't obviously playable in the demo.
So there you go. Come on. What kind of Like a Dragon fan are you? Come on.
I know. We're getting there. I want it. I expressed interest. It's just with all the games coming out and the fact that I'm like, well, this is great, but I do have, obviously, the newest Mario Kart also sitting right here. So if I want a car adventure, I could just play that and have fun. But this one's cool too. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And that's been the week, man. What about you?
I feel like it's been a busier week than it has. Either that or I'm forgetting things that I should put in the show notes here. But for the real life front, I'll say I watched WWE Clash in Paris. And I only mention it, one, because it'll come up later in the show when we talk about something else in the snippets or the topics or the whatevers. And also because it was a big event that they had overseas and the crowds are always nuts. So it was another nuts crowd, hot crowd. You like wrestling in front of a hot crowd? You can do a lot worse than Clash in Paris. So it was fun. Other thing that I did in the real world front, there's a YouTube channel called Thomas Flight. He's a guy who does video essays on filmmaking, essentially, cinematography, this, that, the other things. And he had one on Sinners, the Michael B. Jordan movie from earlier this year. He was talking about the different film formats that they shot it on. 70 millimeter, ultra wide. Then he filmed a bunch of it on IMAX. And then he mentioned a different video where Ryan Coogler, the director, was actually talking about the different film formats and showing it off. And I was like, wow, cool. I never knew that had anything cool like that in it. And the stuff that Thomas Flight was talking about and showing the scenes, you could see why the different formats were important or the different variations between them. So it was cool. And I went, well, I've never seen this before. Let me sit down and watch that on the old HBO Max. This also happens to be something on my watch list that I've talked about last week. So I watched that. That movie was awesome. It was great. I had a really fun time watching it. So if you haven't seen it and you got the HBO Max, check it out. Let's see, then it goes into the video game front, and I feel like I've played more games than this, but I know I haven't. But the one big thing I did was I beat Stellar Blade over the weekend. I think it was Monday or Sunday or some damn day I did it. And I will say, I enjoyed it. Great game, a lot of fun, love the combat. But man, I just got by the end, and I was every gamer. Here's a story that kind of doesn't, we're referencing people that you don't know about yet. And I go, why isn't...
Well, you can spoil it. Matt, if people haven't played the damn game, dude, this game's been out for years, all right? You can go ahead and say what happened because, it's pretty, to me, it was like, what the hell? But also, I thought it was really cool, but also didn't make a lot of sense. It was just crazy.
It felt like they were building up stuff, like they built up the world really well, but then it was like, Adam just says, something's happening in town and I got to leave. And they go, all right, whatever. And they just go and you do all these boss fights and all this other stuff. And you come back and, oh no, the town's destroyed. And then you talk to somebody who destroyed the town supposedly, and she keeps referencing somebody else. And he goes, yeah, he says, you're the chosen one. And instead of saying, who's he? What are you talking about? Eve goes, I'm going to beat you up. Yar. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, I get it. You're mad, but what are you talking about? Who's he? Well, I mean, I know who he is.
But then what came after? That was like crazy. I was like, oh, actually, here's, the source of you and the source of it all. Here they come. Hey, we made a mistake, because like you're doing we didn't want you to do. And you're like, yeah, but I'm pretty cool, right? Like, look at me. No, we don't think so.
Did you fight the guy or fight the robot at the end?
I fought the guy at the end.
Okay. That was the other thing that was driving me nuts is because a certain character gets a really cool robot at the end and they go, check this out. I'm going to run with you and we're going to stomp faces because this is a cool robot. And you go to the next boss who is like 5 feet away and you go, kick back with your dumb robot, sit on the sidelines. I got this. And you fight the boss and it's fun. And you go into a place and she comes in with the robot. And she's like, I'm going to beat stuff up with this robot. And the last boss immediately, if you make a certain choice, just like lassos her and she doesn't do anything with the robot in any remote aspect of that game. It's freaking crazy. But of course, she's the secret boss if you pick the other way. I knew that looking at it, but I was just
the
like,
whole ship, all coming in and
I just had to throw my hands up and go, why'd she get a stupid robot? And answered my own question immediately and went, oh, if I pick the other way, then I have to fight the robot. But
yes, you would have fought the robot. Of course, that's not the right way, man. That was not the right decision.
oh, I don't know which one was the right decision.
I went and cheated. I looked at which one was the best path and
Okay.
going to the guy, then going to the ship and everything. That was all the right stuff.
Okay. I assumed as much because I got like the story goes on, like a weird static end screen. And I just went, I don't want to. I'm so irritated by the story bit that I'm just like, fighting another boss, that's fine. I don't need to fight that. But the combat was a lot of fun in the game, except for, okay, one last bellyache. 2 of the last 3 bosses. It's the third from the last boss if you fight the way I did. It pops up a screen halfway through the boss fight and it goes, oh, hey, here's a tutorial pop-up. Did you know some bosses have instant death attacks?
Mm-hmm.
And I went, A, whatever. But B, this boss will shoot out like 6 little things that you got to shoot. And if you don't shoot them in time, you're just freaking dead. The shooting mechanics aren't bad, but they're bad for these little tiny things that the boss pushes you 10 miles away.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to shoot these little 6 things. So I died on that twice. Well, once for the one boss and once for the other boss. That was irritating, but other than that, the bosses were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the second to last boss because, again, avoiding spoilers for the most part, you mostly fight giant things in Stellar Blade, and that thing was actually smaller than you, the person that you fought. Because of that, she didn't have these big swinging tells like all the other bosses did. Like, oh, it's going to swing, but its arm is 10 times the size of you, so it rears back and ping, 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 easy to dodge, easy to... Whereas she kind of had not super quick draw because she'd go into like a draw stance, but it wasn't like, whoosh, I'm going into my stance for my attack. A lot of fun. Combat was great. Story, NPCs, but a good experience. Playing that game was a lot of fun. I will say, playing through on normal, I beat every boss in 3 attempts or less. The other thing I was surprised by was, I was going to ask you, did you use any consumables other than just the health pop?
Not really, no.
Okay. Because I didn't until like the second to last boss.
Yeah, it was near the end is when I used a bunch, but
I finally used like the little HB pump to revive once because I had her down to like this much and I just barely died on something. And I went, I'm 1 hit away. It's not a cheat. Popped up, got her. Then on the last boss, he had me down. Like I was on the ropes, but I had him at like 25%. And I went, okay, I need something. What offensive items even exist in this game? And, I'm looking through, damages the enemy's shield, does this. And then it says like knocks down nearby enemies. And I went, well, I'm pretty much dead anyway, but I'm going to try it. And she like throws down a little flashbang at her feet, essentially. And the giant end boss just like crumpled over and fell down. And I went, I could have been doing this whole time. What have I been doing? Now, it hasn't been that hard, and skin of my teeth battles were a lot of fun. But I was just like, I didn't even need to try. I just go, psh, and then just go, oof.
That was the one thing I did do that I don't usually do in RPGs. Is I always save all my shit, never use it, and get to the end. It's the story of time. We always talk about it. But this time, instead of just blowing through the boss because I was already OP, no, like you said, I was on the ropes. It was tough. So I went and I just went. I just popped every potion in the world and just went. And then I was like, oh, okay, yep, game over. I win. Yay! It actually worked out the way it's supposed to. Save all of your shit, get to the end, pop everything. And then just go, you're dead. Goodbye.
Overall, really enjoyed it. I loved the style of a lot of the bosses, the patterns of their attacks. And, it's kind of for me, it's a kind of stand your ground kind of game. I do really well with those, like Liza P. You parry a lot or you can dodge. You can run away, but I like that. You can parry and block. It's all the same button. And if you miss your parry, generally you block it too. So I had a ton of fun with it. Now, you promised last time you were going to tell me your favorite outfit for Eve in the game.
Oh, and I forgot to look.
Oh no.
Person. I can tell you what it was, though. It was the orange. It was the one you get very late game. It was, what's her face's, an homage to the one chick that used to be your pal. Not the one that's with you, the one that died early on in the game.
Yeah, that's Tacky.
Okay, Tacky. Yeah, Tacky's outfit, because it's that orange one, right? It's like got an orange with the... That was my go-to when I got to that point. I never switched off after that one. I really like that one. Like the colors and just obviously the really cool, just vibe and sexiness of it all. Just it meshed well enough that I didn't feel like it was too like crazy, because there was that skirt one I really liked too.
Yeah.
But of course the skirt would always ruffle up, and so I was like, this is one of those ones you don't got an excuse if someone goes, "What are you doing?" Well, I don't know. So that was like my go-to, because it's like, well, even her base costume has this aesthetic. It's just this has all the extra accoutrements. I'm like, this is what the game gave me. I don't know what you want from me.
I was rolling with, I think maybe you got like an extra tacky one, because I got one pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
That was like her same colors, but I don't know if it was exactly her suit, but I was rocking that for a long time. I think for me, and I know it'll sound like Prude's Mix Jones, but I like the ones where she had proper pants. Like there's the punk outfit where she's got like distressed denim jacket and jeans, and like she kind of has like a halter top on underneath all that. But the one I was always rocking, I don't know why, but it just really spoke to me, was I think it's called Sporty Yellow. It kind of looks like the bride's outfit from Kill Bill, or the Game of Death Bruce Lee outfit. I like that one because it was sexy, but it wasn't, like you said, like the skirt poofing, and it didn't seem weird, but I liked it. It felt stylish and cool.
Yeah, and then my other favorite was that that thong bikini one.
Of course.
That was just kid. It was funny because when I got those, I put them on. And I go, nope, I can't. Nope, got to take that off. Not that I wouldn't if I was like in my own zone, but I got kids and everything. I'm like, they're gonna come running down here, and I'm gonna be jumping around, and they're gonna be like, "What are you doing, Dad?" And I'm like, being a gooner. Leave me alone.
I unlocked everything. I made all the suits that I could get, and I put them all on once and kind of either did the spin in the menu just to see, or put a couple of them on, and I was just like, it's just, I don't know. Plus, if I'm getting killed by giant monsters, I don't want to see a pretty lady who's like in a little fancy skirt or like a Playboy bunny little outfit getting beat up by giant monsters. So I liked Sporty Yellow. It was just cool. So a great game. Glad I finished that. Glad I got to scratch that off of my New Year's resolution list. And then just like we teased, just like Eric talked about, I got back into Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Right after that, got back to Hawaii. And it was just like Eric said, just like I say all the time, that Eric says that I say all the time, just run around. Look, there's a million things on the map. Let me go do every single thing on the map. Every single shiny, every single briefcase, every single side thing, every single little heart buddy talk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's got a drink link. Let's go have a big, giant, delicious looking beer at the bar while the kid's drinking his milk. It's just a lot of fun. I was in a weird mood when I was playing it, but looking back on it now, it's all the things that I love, doing stupid sub stories, meeting wacky characters. It was a ton of fun. So it was a pretty good week. I still feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I streamed Death Stranding too. I did a stream of that. What else did I do this weekend? I don't know, but my time is over. What else is going on, Eric?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. It's like a new video game that I already told you about. All right. Cronos, The New Dawn hits September 5th, which is Friday, and I'll be there ready to rock and roll. It's published and developed by Bloober Team. It's a game I've been waiting for quite some time. Bloober Team, if you didn't know, are the ones who just redid the Silent Hill 2 remake. So everybody's, really jazzed up with what they can do. And they showed you that they can do some cool stuff, but they can do it with other people's IP. So now is the time for Bloober to take their own IP and show you that they got the stuff to make a really great game. And I'll tell you this, so far, looking pretty dang solid. Overall, I think it's like high 70s, low 80s. And then some people are obviously going way up into the 9s. Some people are down in the 5s and 6s. So I wouldn't say it's a checkerboard of everything, but it definitely does, run a gamut when you're looking at reviewers and reviews of what's going on. And this is happening a lot with this game, Matt, and I don't like it. It's something we always bicker about. I mean, it's just kind of like Dead Space meets, like this game. Like, it's just a game. The game does like a game does. But it's like, why is it okay for one game to do that, but then another game doesn't? And you're like, I don't know, just a game copying like a game. I'll never stop being flabbergasted by that argument. It's like, judge it for what it's doing. Is it doing what that game does well? Is it doing what that genre does well? Why do you keep on saying it's not Resident Evil?
And doesn't this have the weird twist of you go and find like the time travelers or the alternate parallel universe version? So it's not like you're going into space on a spaceship and finding a marker and it's twisted the people, and you're using engineered tools to cut them up. It's doing something different. It's a person in space with a suit on, sure, and it's heavy and it's clunkery, but it's different.
And some of the reviews with their heads on straight, that's usually what the rhetoric is right now. It's, hey, yes, this game does obviously take inspiration from titles that have come before, because if you didn't know, you are a big, clunky, time-traveling dude who looks very similar. Oh, it's not a dude, it's a dudette. Similar to Isaac in his Dead Space outfit. And you're going around killing these mutated creatures and monsters and whatnot. However, just like Matt just said, it has nothing to do with, well, you know, I don't know where it goes, to be honest with you. It goes all over the place from what I hear. Time traveling, weird, you know, Cthulhu stuff happening, and strange things basically are going down. And that's where the story gets unique, and it's its own thing. And it's not just, hey, you're fighting this mutated human, which these, well, I think they're mutated humans, but, you know.
What?
But it's different. But it's different because a different thing happened, a cataclysm. But why did it happen? You're trying to figure this out. At the same time, you're trying to figure out why your other time travelers are disappearing, and, you know, figure out what happened to them and what can you do. So you're trying to get your own bearing on what the hell's going on. At the same time, you're also trying to save important people at the time before the cataclysm, so that way you can try and fix what has happened and repair the damage that has been done. There are mutated humans. There are all sorts of alien, weird-like looking creatures. There are floating things in this what we assume is some kind of Earth. And why is that all happening? None of us know, but you're going to find out as the time traveler doing your job. And, of course, who's controlling you? Who's your boss? What the hell's going on with that? We'll find out in the game. But overall, as I said, you do go around in a clunky third-person view, and you get really cool, like, this thick, you know, this really present weapons, and you're shooting these things. However, from all the reviews, this is hardcore. This isn't as easy as Dead Space and the others. You are given almost no ammo all the time. You're constantly struggling to keep up with what's happening around you, which adds tension, which is cool. But as some reviewers noted, and I do agree with this, it starts to lead you into the, well, I just run around in circles, punching once or twice, then running in circles until the creature's dead. And that mechanic, that's not so fun. So it kind of defeats, I don't know how you fix that. I get why you don't want to have a ton of ammo, so that way it is tense and hard. But at the same time, as a gamer, yeah, what are you going to do? You're just going to start running in circles, playing cat and mouse, do a punch when he does a heavy swing, or it does whatever kind of attack that slows it down for a second, because we all know the mechanics of monsters in general and what's going on. So I do get that one, that, you know, complaint, but yeah, I don't know. How do you fix that? Who knows? I have to play the game myself to kind of get a feel for it and see, you know, if I agree or disagree with that. But overall, positive reviews, game's coming back, looking pretty dang solid. I had it on the background the other night, and there was actually real people. The time traveler actually talks to real people in real situations, which from all the different trailers, I didn't expect, you know? So I was thinking it was going to be this very lonely, just like strange, weird adventure, but nope, you will interact with people, and they will have their own problems and their own reasons for doing whatever they're doing and their own wants and whatnot. And you get to interact either positively or negatively. I don't know, because I didn't want to know the story. So I just kind of would look over once in a while and see, oh, that looks really cool and whatnot. But looking forward to it. Y'all should too. Go check out some reviews. I'll be playing it, so no matter what you think, I'll be talking about it here in the coming weeks, I'm sure. And then I'll probably stay spoiler-free in case Matt plays this one. But he never will.
Correct, I never will. But I did read up PC Gamer. They had a preview about Cronos. One thing they mentioned in there that I thought was really cool, and we've mentioned it before, is if you kill a certain monster, then another one can come over and like higgledy-piggledy inside of it.
And then it gets its abilities too, yes.
Become all crazy and cool. But they were talking to game director or producer or somebody, and he said, yeah, you know, that's generally probably not a good thing. But if you could make them start doing that, and then figure out a way to stop it, maybe you do get the jump on them in that moment where they're not focused on you. And I went, that's kind of a cool mechanic. Plus, Stellar Blade had levels that were like that, but you couldn't interrupt them. That was my only irritation with that part. Oh, yeah, it's grabbing him, but it's still small right now. Oh, no, he's in the animation, so I can't hit him out of that. But it sounds like in Cronos, maybe at some point you figure out a way or get an ability that lets you do that. But that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go for a completely different kind of a release, but this is a release that scares me. Kind of just like Cronos does for Eric with all the things that are lined up. This one I did not expect either. I did not know this game was coming out right now because it's SHUTEN, which is coming out tomorrow as we're recording this, the 5th, just like Cronos does. Developed by, I'm going to say question marks because I couldn't find the actual studio that's developed it, but I'll get into why this game scares me when I talk about that. But published by Spike Chunsoft for Switch and for PC. This is a game in which you are dead. Your main character, you're dead, but you've gotten revived by these two angels, and they tell you, hey, you were the leader of this weird, and I'm not sure on this either, like a cult or a government or a secret society or something. And one of the other 5 heads of this cult or government or secret society killed you. But now God's trial is for you to find out who killed you, make them confess to it, and then kill them. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. If you see any screenshots of the game, any videos of it in action, it's got a really cool anime/manga style. All the characters have this rough manga look to them, but they have these really bright colors. So it's like if you saw a manga that just went crazy with the colors. Really unique, really cool. I've heard the music's really cool too. But what scares me about this is the development team. And I'm not sure if they're in a company or if it's just freelancers from all over. They got Danganronpa writers. They got Master Detective Archives Raincode writers. They've got Kazutaka Kodaka, the guy who just did all of that, who directed 100 Line Last Defense Academy. So all these people are in here, right in the different scenarios. Because as you go for the 5 different heads of this cult or government or whatever, each time you go after one of them, they have a unique storyline exclusive to them and a unique gameplay style. So this is another game in which you have at least 5 separate games inside one game. And it's by, at least part of it, is by the guy who just did 100 Line, the game with 100 different games inside of itself. So if you go after one certain character, you get a detective type of story, like Ace Attorney, like you're pointing, clicking, and uncovering clues to solve a murder with the person who maybe also murdered you, and you got like the cut-ins where your main character is pointing, Ace Attorney style. Cool. Awesome. Love it. Another storyline is you have a nonary game style death game where you're going through this weird hospital, I think is what's been taken over by the people who are starting this weird killing game. You're doing all kinds of puzzles just like you did in nonary games. And people are dying, it's twisted, it's dark. It's all the things from the nonary games, but then it's also hosted. It's a live stream. It's what you're watching is a live stream, and there's a weird VTuber who's all about the death and destruction and the evilness happening in this one storyline. Then you got another one where it's like a visual novel with a whole flowchart and apparently different characters that you play as and a million different bad endings in that one section alone. And then in another section, it's like a dating sim/persona style time management game. So 4 things already that I absolutely love. Then the last one, it's like a stealth action/horror game where you're like Metal Gear Soliding around from a clock tower type of villain, serial killer that's chasing you through these grody hallways, and you're making noise over here, so you draw them over there so you can sneak back around. This game looks absolutely nuts. It has 5 different games inside of it, to say nothing of whatever happens at the end. I assume all those scenarios coalesce and then more things happen. You already have a mystery. Then you have 5 more things, 5 more whole games inside of a game by the man who makes games where there's different games inside of them. I can't believe it. I watched the Noisy Pixel review. They gave it a 10 out of 10. You know how Noisy Pixel is. He's got usually 1 or 2 people who voice them, but the person who wrote that review sounded almost just like me and their love of 100 Line and Danganronpa and nonary games, and they loved it. I did watch another review. I can't remember the channel name, though. Sorry, it was a pretty small channel. They gave it a 4.5 out of 5. So another banger of a game from Spike Chunsoft and the Danganronpa folks, and it just came out right now. So I'm going to have to get it. Then I'm going to have to get Borderlands. Then I'm going to have to get, I think Blippo Plus comes out at the end of this month. Then you got Ghost. We just talked about this on the Shifter Monthly topic. It's too much, but I didn't even know this existed. Like I knew SHUTEN, and I knew 2Kyo devs were involved in it. I had no idea it was coming out right now. I had no idea it was this cool and this interesting and this awesome. But I'm 100% sold. So I'm going to have to screw myself over and get it immediately as soon as I'm done posting this. I'm going to get on my Switch and I'm going to get it. Everyone else should get it. It's SHUTEN order. Go get it.
Get yourself a brand new game. And of course, everybody, we got to tell you about all the free games that are out for you right now as we speak over on Amazon Free Games. For example, you can get Dungeons & Dragons Ravenloft series. Well, it's Dungeons & Dragons, folks. I'm pretty sure you can, kind of guesstimate what this game's all about. You can also get Sid Meier's Civilization 4, the complete edition. This is one we've mentioned about 5 bajillion trillion times because it's free on every other place in the whole wide world. And now it's free on Amazon if you want to go grab it. Go build yourself a brand new civilization. Go to war with other ones. Make a peace with other ones. Do what you want. Have a blast. Who knows? And then last but not least, it's a little gem, just a beautiful little gem, Into the Breach. I've told you about this game. I've told Matt to go play this game. It is a great, wonderful, awesome, cool little strategy little game. Came out years ago at this point, years and years and years ago. Simple, awesome graphics, no flash, no big bang. But man, do you want yourself a tough time and to have a lot of fun doing it? Get yourself some Into the Breach. You're going to be some cool little mech warriors, and you're going up against these bugs, these kaiju that are just coming up all over the place, and all of them have these really cool abilities, and you got to figure out how to use your mechs to counter what they're doing, and you got to start thinking way in advance because they start setting the stage for all sorts of shenanigans, and if you pick the wrong strategy, you're going down. So, yes, a wonderful game, really, really good. Good on you, Amazon. This is a good week.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. I've played it in bits and pieces here and there, but it's always right before something big comes out. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start playing Into the Breach. Oh, wait, something like SHUTEN Order came out. Okay, well, I got to stop. But it's on my list. If you want to talk about awesome games and a good old lineup, you go on over to the Game Pass because you got I Am Your Beast, which was pretty big, I think, end of last year, earlier this year. That's a fast-paced first-person shooting and brawling and kicking and all kinds of violence. Really cool game. You got a game called Cataclysmo, which the name of it sounds familiar, but I did not have a chance to look it up because I grabbed these titles literally as we got on here to record. You got Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is that, what would you say? It's like the modern day Zelda's kind of.
Yeah, Zelda. Yeah, think Breath of the Wild, but just different team.
Yeah, kind of like it is a Ubisoft game, but kind of toned down a little bit. Open world, Greek gods, all that other stuff. And then you got the big one that everybody but the two of us is all about. You got Hollow Knight Silksong on the Game Pass. You don't even have to buy it. You just have to buy Game Pass, and it's there for you. All the rest of you out there in the world who are playing this nonstop day in, day out, it's there for you.
Indeed, and that's not it. Epic also has a couple games for you. They got the Battle of Polytopia. I have no idea what that is. I don't know, because Matt put that one in there, boys and girls, so I didn't even get to look at the pictures and cheat. And then you've got Monument Valley. And this is, I think, if I remember right, a puzzle game. You're traversing all these different areas, and then you got to interact with the lands itself or something like that. And it'll change the way everything goes. And so if you like puzzle games and you love really cool, inspired visuals, Monument Valley might be right up your alley.
It is super cool. It's one of those perspective puzzlers. You can walk on the sides or the tops of this weird, MC Escher style.
Okay.
So you put things together and then they connect in ways you don't really get. It's so cool. So much fun. I played it on my iPhone, actually. Played that and 2. So great games there. And then we got great things to talk about. What do we want to talk about first? I'll just say, because I teased it earlier, I was watching WWE Clash in Paris, and I went, okay, cool. Hey, what's coming up next? It's a tag team match. It's a little tag team match. And I went, cool, Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six. Those are people I've talked about on the show. Street Profits music hit. And I went, that's a weird Titantron they have up there. And then I saw giant Borderlands symbol right in the middle of that giant Tron. And then they came out wearing psycho masks and cell-shaded pants because their entrance was Borderlands 4 entrance. And the match was sponsored by Borderlands 4, and it had a big commercial about it after the match. And I forgot to mention before, when I was listening to Spotify not too long ago, every single commercial break, we got to hear our buddy Jim Ferranda as Claptrap talking about Borderlands 4. They sponsored a whole week of IGN's Daily Fix a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. So the Borderlands 4 marketing, obviously it should be, but it has been ramping up in places that I actually see it. I always tell Eric, I never see ads for anything. Any ads for a video game, I don't see them. But I saw a million ads for Borderlands 4. It made me feel good. It felt cool. It felt cool to see a video game ad again. I never see those.
I was in the same exact boat. Matt had told me, I haven't seen ads for Borderlands 4. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I ain't seen nothing. And then just the other day, just as you said, I hear Jim on Spotify. And then it was cool because it was in my truck. And so on my truck's monitor, all of a sudden it came up with Claptrap and all this little Borderlands stuff. And I went, hey, Jim, I heard you in a dog's age.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I just saw it. There it is. The commercial that Matt's been talking about. And well, he's been talking about other ones, but that's the first one I got to see. So yes. And then today at lunch, I was on YouTube and got another Borderlands shindig. So that was another, whoa, hey, look, there it is. It's coming. So yeah, they have ramped it up big time. They want to make sure the world knows all about Borderlands 4 coming out in 2 weeks. And that's cool. And that's good. It's fine by me because I'm going to play it and enjoy the hell out of it.
Absolutely. And speaking of more news and more things to talk about with the Borderlands 4, Gearbox had their PAX West panel. Eric, I don't think they said either of the two things that we wanted them to talk about, but they talked about Borderlands 4 and they did a goofy magic trick. It was a fun one.
It was enjoyable. And I learned enough that I'm still extremely happy. Yes, we don't know if they're going to have the Borderlands symbols hidden. They better. I swear to God, they better. But we did find out they're having pearlescence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome. So you're getting the rares of the rares of the rares. And Randy made sure to let you know it's going to be extremely rare. So if you get one, you better wipe your butt and be happy as all hell because you're lucky. So it means me and Matt will never see one.
Yes.
Just so y'all know,
Yes.
we'll never tell you about a pearlescence because we're not going to get them. And then, of course, they also talked about it once again, dedicated loot off bosses, which was awesome. And then they talked about the weekly missions, which we've, briefly mentioned before that you can do. And one of them is Moxie's going to have a weekly boss for you. And that boss is going to be harder than the bosses out in the real world or, the Borderlands world. And their dedicated loot drop is going to be a higher rate of dropping if you fight them in the Moxie's arena or whatever. That's awesome. That's so cool that every week you can go, oh man, is it the one I need? Is it the one I'm looking for, trying to farm? And if so, now instead of going out there and having the low rate and having to do it a billion times, you can use Moxie's arena, fight it, and get it easier. And I was like, yep, that's a chef's kiss. Very happy to hear that. And then I just had to note too, Randy's insane. I don't get it. This man is more excited about his stuff than anybody in the world I've ever seen about anything I've ever enjoyed or seen anybody else enjoy.
Uh-huh.
You got the whole crew out there. They look normal as a cucumber, just chilling like a villain. And Randy looks like he's about to literally explode.
Mm-hmm.
Randy's out there shivering. Randy's got veins popping out of his neck.
Sweating.
Randy's got
He's
sweat
wet.
drenching down his face. This man is like losing his schnips about this. And it's such a wild, just weird thing because everyone else is just cookie cutter clean. Yeah, man. Hey, here we are. We're going to do the thing. And he's just like, oh, God, got a game. And I'm like, you are crazy, man.
I 100% agree with you. He made me think of Jeff Keighley at Gamescom. I wanted him to be like, are you excited, guys? He never did actually hit that line, but he had that energy. But like you could tell he was like frothing and foaming at the mouth from it. But I loved it too because I noticed a lot of the other people, they were cool as cucumbers, but a lot of them seemed really nervous.
Yes, they did.
Or like, I'm only going by what is on this card right now. So, Jeff, what do you think about guns? And so having somebody who is just like fidgety and scratchety and wiggledy and it wants to jump out of his skin about this game, it kind of counteracted that.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing about the show. Like, I like that Randy hired the individual. I forget his name. He's the guy who ran Game Informer for forever.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like he hired him to kind of keep them in check, kind of keep things flowing in the way they're supposed to be going. At least that's what he seems to have been doing for a couple years now. He probably plays a much more important role, but I don't know what it is. I haven't looked real deep into it. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. I haven't really been in the groove on that for a while. But I feel like I wish he would get more in line with Randy. Not all the way, obviously, because then everything goes off the tracks.
Mm.
But it was just like you said. It was like, hey, so here's what we're looking forward to. Randy, don't you have a bit you want to do real quick? Yeah, I do. All right, his bit's done. We're going to pull out Jeff now. Come, Jeff, can you tell us about the weaponry? Yep. All right, Randy, you had a bit for this, right? Okay, go ahead, Randy. All right, I got a bit. Look at that bit. His bit's done. All right, we're going to talk to this person. And I'm like, it's kind of weird. Like, I get it. You want to keep everything on track, but it's just, it felt like it's like, Randy, you'll get 3 minutes of your bit right here. And other than that, you're going to stop when we stop. And we're going to follow these markers. We're going to stay right on point, right on line. We're not going to do anything else. Do you get it? Do you understand? Cool beans. And then, like, when Randy's like, I'm flipping out, I felt like you could just feel the energy from old boy over there, like, Randy? Randy? Shush. So I was like a dad looking at his son, like, you better calm down, boy. So that was weird, but fun. And then last on just the people and the charisma, the whole chemistry of everything going on. I love the Ellie's voice actress / now writer. Her whole bit coming out and talking over the thing. And I was just, pleasantly happy, just happy in general. And we get to see Crystal again. I'm so happy about that.
Oh, brother. Now,
in a Cthulhu environment, nonetheless.
I was going to say, I was going to come back to it, but you did just say it right there. That was one of my big takeaways from it was I loved that they specifically mentioned, having a Crystal Center DLC, but when they said, we're taking tons of influences from Blood, Love, and Tentacles from the last one.
Which was awesome.
That was amazing, and it got me just drooling and foaming up the mouth, remembering that first night that we played it, and we ran all around the town, and we found every single reference. Dude, come over here. There's a dude in here you can talk to. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. So I can't wait for that. And then the other thing that was big for me, and maybe, it's not big, but it's big enough, during the talk about the future content plans, they mentioned those bounty packs. And I don't remember if I've heard details about them or not, but they said, hey, these are just like those Headhunter DLCs from Borderlands 2, where it's a little story-focused thing all about one character or all about one theme. And I went, damn, those were the best. Those were not my favorite part, but some of my favorite stuff that we ever did in Borderlands 2 was, oh man, it's Leprechaun time. Get your ass over to the Leprechaun DLC. Oh, we beat it on your account, so switch over because we're going to play through it on mine because it's just time to do it. And they were cheap, they were small, they were fun, they were bite-sized. It didn't take you more than a night to do them, but it was just free content. Whew, just came right at you and hit you right in the face. It was good.
Yes, the return of holidays, man. God, I'm so happy. That was such a thing, just such a moment, such a time. Every year, getting on and doing every single holiday as it came out. We knew it was coming. We were always jazzed about it, ready to get going. And to know it's coming back again. And it starts with my favorite holiday, Halloween. I went, yep, there it is. And then, of course, like you said, they get the Headhunter for the Christmas one coming up. And I'm like, yep, Christmas time, Halloween. Oh, this is where it's at. Will we get a Turkey Day one? It's probably too much to ask for, but maybe. Who knows?
Maybe next year, if everybody buys the Super Deluxe Edition, they'll have enough money to do Waddle Gobbler next year, even if they're not planning it for this year. And
then, yeah, maybe. I hope so. And I was so stoked, too, because not only did they always do a good job with, the decorations and the mood and vibe, but now that they have the dynamic weather, which they kept mentioning, I'm like, you could do so much more now, too. You could have, like, fall leaves literally flying across the ground and everything, and you could add all sorts of really cool, and he was even specifying for the Halloween one, they've got dynamic weather that's unique to nothing you've ever seen in Borderlands before. So I'm like, what could it be? Like mists, fall leaves? What's he talking about? What kind of dynamic weather are they going to bring to the table that's going to make me go, holy God, this is freaking nuts. So he got me excited just to see this cool little event coming up, and I can't wait now.
Yeah, I can't wait for it in general, but I think that pretty much wraps up the PAX panel for me. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, just I already said it. Dedicated loot, really happy to see, really happy to hear about. The weekly events that are going to guarantee you legendaries we already touched on, but yeah, in a nutshell, overall, yeah, that's about it. It was really good.
Yeah. And another thing that may or may not have been really good, I don't know if Eric had a chance to see it, was the 007 First Light State of Play from a couple days ago. Did you see that?
No, I didn't get to see it. I mean, if you did, go ahead and talk about it a little bit. But I only saw a couple highlight reels, but I didn't get to watch it myself.
Yeah, I feel like it was a weird one. So I want to hear what you think about it once you see it. But for me, the first half of it, it's like gameplay walkthrough of a mission. And it is early because it comes out like in March of next year. But it felt like so beta. Certain voice lines didn't feel right or finished. The gameplay felt a little weird in that walkthrough. And I went, oh man, I don't know about this one. I mean, when they got to the shooting, the explosions and the big Bond type set piece stuff you can do looked incredible and crazy. But I don't know, just the feel seemed really weird on that. But then they went into a more curated, just walking through action set pieces or like moments where you could either be stealthy, you could go loud, you could be smooth, you could do, talk to enemies, you could shoot them, you could grapple them. That seemed a lot more polished and seemed a lot more fun. What I really liked out of that was there were a lot of like melee grabs and throws instead of just like a canned punch and kick animation. Like obviously you can punch and kick, but it showed him grabbing dudes a lot. If he was near a window, I assume flick the analog stick to lurch them over, and when you let go, they fell out the window or off the bridge or whatever, or you slam them into this thing. Or he grabbed the dude and you ran toward a ledge, and they did that hold the guy as you run off the ledge so you land on him. One of the other things I liked was they showed off this instinct mode, which is kind of like a meter you get, and it was slow down time so you can aim and all that other stuff. But earlier in the gameplay part, they showed him walking around, and you had dialogue options with a bunch of different people, actual NPC characters, people you tried to schmooze your way past. But some of those dialogue options required instinct. So I love that it's not just like a, oh crap, slow down and aim mechanic. You could also use it to be smooth bond to talk your way past people. Or that's how it seemed to me anyway in that. So kind of upsy downsy on the state of play for me. I thought the second half kind of brought it and made me a little more engaged. I'm still going to check it out. It did kind of feel like Hitman, but with a little extra spice on top. And obviously that's what they do anyway. But I'd be interested to hear what you say. Let us know next week when we're on the podcast, Eric. Yeah,
I sure will, man. I definitely will, because I did want to take a peek at it. I don't play Hitman. That's not my jam. But if they go more adventure route with it, maybe it'd be something I'd be into. And that's precisely what you could do with this particular title. So I'll look. I'll take a peek.
So one more thing that you should also check out and see and re-engage with it next week as well is Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner. If you remember last week's question, it was, what animals threaten the player in A Plague Tale Innocence? Those are rats, of course. And let's see, we got a brand new set of cards. Flippy-dippy-doo, which side are we going to start with? We'll go with this one. This week's question. Geralt of Rivia appears as a playable character in which 2018 fighting game?
Oh man, which one is that? I should know this. 2018 fighting game. Geralt of Rivia.
I will give you partial credits if you don't get the whole title.
I don't recall him being in. Well, that's obviously the first one that comes to mind. I think it was. I wouldn't know about. Maybe it's like some weird one I don't know what to think about. Let's go safe. Mortal Kombat.
You mentioned it in your list of things that it could have been. Your favorite video game fighting series. Oh, come on.
No, it was, man. It was.
I know.
Keyword was. Way before 2018.
I know. So if you know the answer to that question, or if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, mailbag questions, thoughts about the Gearbox panel, thoughts about the state of play, thoughts about the releases, or anything else that we talked about today, send that to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine at ThirdShiftME, find us on Facebook under Third Shift, hit up the Discord, hit up the Patreon. If I'm streaming, hit up a stream. If I'm on the streets, don't look at me and don't talk to me, but reach out online maybe.
Indeed. Reach out online to both of us, one of us, all of us. We appreciate it. It helps us out. And also, while you're online, go over to Patreon. Throw in $1, $2, $3, all kinds of bucks. It's a tip jar. It's there just to help us out and keep us online without having to, of course, sell, my wonderful collection of toys to keep us going. I don't know what I'd have to do. I haven't had to get there because of awesome support we've had up to this point. You all are the best. But if you can't throw money our way, understood. Get on over to Twitch and throw us a couple bucks via Amazon free money that way, Or, hey, just go over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, throw a 5-star review our way, or go to Discord and hang out and have some fun conversations. And, of course, while you're there, you can also do mailbag questions, things like that. All of it helps us out, and we appreciate the holy hell out of it.
So I watched a YouTube video the other day where a person was talking about, I don't really believe that our phones really listen to us. And right now, I was about to prove that person wrong because you said, make it so we don't have to sell. And in my mind, I thought of the place where you sell the bodily fluid. Not the one, but the one. And I'm not going to say the name of the place or the fluid that you sell, because every time I do, then I start getting YouTube ads for that place before every single video. And I'm not going to do that. So that content creator doesn't know what she's talking about. Because I know what
she's
happens.
Literally stupid because it does happen.
Yes.
I mentioned a Snicker bar a couple days ago, and I got ads for Snickers on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, sorry. Period.
So that tangent aside, you can also listen to the very next episode on iTunes and Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube on or around September 11th. And if you love what we're doing and you just want to help us out so very much, give us a like, rating, review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. We thank you so very much. And of course, hey, 5-star reviews over on Spotify, over on Apple Podcasts. Come on. You know what? Is it time of year for that? Fall's coming, folks. The leaves are coming down. Do you want us to go into the dead end of the year? You know, the dead trees, the dead times with no 5 stars? What's that going to do for the soul? What's that going to do for the spirit? Think about us. Just think about us for 1 minute of your life and do the right thing.
And with that, there's nothing else to say but...
Don't
forget to say...